We're diving into some intriguing territory with our favorite Hollywood legends, Morgan Freeman and Samuel L. Jackson. Both of these icons have shared their thoughts on religion and faith in interviews, and their responses are worth discussing. So, let's jump right in. First up, we have Morgan Freeman. When asked about his religious beliefs, Freeman made a statement that left many people puzzled.
Are you religious? Do you believe in something? Anything?
Yeah, I believe in me.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you don't believe in anything else?
Anything else?
Well, it's a religious thing. Like, is it in God, or is there something like that?
Well, you can separate God from religion, which is what I do. I believe in God. I believe in me. Same person.
He said, "I and God are the same." All right, let's unpack that for a moment. I and God are the same. On the surface, it sounds almost blasphemous, especially from a Christian perspective. But let's dig deeper. Freeman has played God in movies, and his voice often carries a certain gravitas that makes you think he knows what he's talking about. But this statement isn't just about Hollywood swagger. From a Christian standpoint, we believe in the concept of imago Dei, that humans are made in the image of God.
And God said, let us make a species called man. He said, let them have our image and our likeness. So when God said, let us make man in our own image, he had to use himself as the material, because the man had to have his nature and his moral and spiritual character.
This means we carry aspects of God's character within us, like creativity, love, and justice. However, it's crucial to remember that while we reflect God's image, we are not God. There's a vast difference between being a creation of God and being God himself. Freeman's statement could be interpreted through a more pantheistic or New Age lens, where divinity is seen as an inherent part of all existence. But as Christians, we must be careful not to blur the lines between creator and creation. The Bible is clear. God is sovereign, almighty, and wholly other than his creation. We are called to worship him, not equate ourselves with him. That being said, there's an element of truth in recognizing the divine spark within us. It should inspire us to live righteously, to love our neighbors, and to seek justice and mercy. But we must always maintain humility, acknowledging our need for God's grace and guidance. Now, let's switch gears and talk about Samuel L. Jackson. When asked about his religious beliefs, he said something that really resonates.
It would be interesting for them to sit and read it as they listen to it, to see if the words make sense as these words are coming through their ears. It would be a great, project to project it on a wall when people are teaching this to kids, but they don't teach the Bible in school anymore. When I went to school, we had Bible class. Right. Like I said, you had to learn a Bible verse and kind of be ready every week.
Here he brings faith down to earth, connecting it to something very practical, our educational system. And you know what? He's spot on. In a world that often seems chaotic and uncertain, faith in education can be transformative. As Christians, we are called to be salt and light in the world, which includes every sphere of influence, education being a key one. Proverbs 1:7 tells us, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge." Education rooted in godly principles can shape not just minds, but hearts and characters. It can instill values like integrity, compassion, and wisdom. But let's face it, our current educational system often falls short. We see secularism creeping in.
A school district in the US state of Utah has banned the Bible in primary schools because it contains vulgarity and violence.
This is where Jackson's call for faith in the system becomes crucial. We need faith not just in the process of education, but in the potential for it to be a force for good, to raise up a generation that knows and honors God. And here's my rant. Why is it that our schools are increasingly hostile to Christian values? Why is it controversial to discuss God or even basic moral principles? We've allowed the secular agenda to push faith out of the classroom, and we're seeing the consequences. Moral decay, confusion, and a lack of purpose are rampant among young people today. It's time for Christians to reclaim the educational sphere. So, there you have it. Morgan Freeman's statement challenges us to think deeply about our identity in relation to God, while Samuel L. Jackson's call to faith in our educational system reminds us of the practical implications of our beliefs. How can we balance recognizing the divine image in ourselves with the humility to know we're not God? And how can we bring faith back into our educational system? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to watch this other one next. Until next time, stay faithful, stay hopeful, and keep making a difference.